I'd say good morning, but technically it's the afternoon because it's 12 o'clock. So, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, as Truman Show would say. How is everybody's Friday? I hope everyone is doing well. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm giving everybody just a minute to pop in. Before I start, I want to get back to the basics, right? The basics of what we at least attempt to show people they can do, right? There are many things you can choose to be in life. You can choose to be a shitty human being. You can choose to be a good human being. And far too many people choose to be just straight shitbags. Straight shitbags. They don't care who they hurt, how much they hurt them, or why. They're simply petty, sad, pathetic, sadly, men and women in some stage of their lives where they're unhappy with themselves. And so when they're unhappy with themselves, they think the way to fix that feeling of unhappiness in themselves is to shit on other people. And for a second, when they do it, just for that millisecond, they feel better about themselves. They feel like the big man in charge, right? They feel like, ooh, I did something. Now I feel a little bit better. But that goes away very quickly when they then realize who they are as a person doesn't just disappear when they try to shit on other people, right? Then they have to come to the realization that they're just shitty people. And I guess that's got to be a hard pill to swallow, being a shitty person. And a lot of the time, well, it is, right? I assume that's it. You know, when you're full of shit, I guess it's easy for you to sling it around like a monkey. But we also want to go back to the basics of the people who are harmed in all of this are just everyday people. They're human. Humans are perfectly imperfect. We're human. That's the whole point, right? We make mistakes. We learn from them. We figure it out. We move forward, right? That's part of it. And I want to step back to the basics here of something that I have been spreading for a really long time, which is how to pay it forward, how to, make sure that kindness makes its way to the people that it needs to make its way to, and that hopefully you create a domino effect of kindness towards others. Because it's easy to get wrapped up in all the anger that these people have and hate and just fire back, which I'd be happy to do, right? Is just fire back constantly with facts that piss them off enough for them to go, and lose their ever-loving fucking minds to the point where men with 130,000 or 180,000 and 48,000 subscribers need to talk about little old me here, because that's how pathetic their lives have become. But then we miss the point, right? They're not worth the breaths that I have that would be stealing my oxygen, right? They're not worth that to me, or really to anyone else at that point, right? They can keep spewing hate and vitriol and anger all they want. They'll just keep showing people who they are. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't believe them, or they ignore it, or they laugh and they're like, oh, that's so funny. It's hilarious. It's all fun and games till it's you, right? It's all fun and games until it's you. And then what? You'll be looking for someone to have your back. You'll be looking for someone to help you because it's not normal behavior. It's not okay and it's not right. But what we do in our everyday lives, what we teach our children, that shit matters. that shit matters, right? And for me, I teach my kids to sit with another kid that's sitting alone, to share something that they have with someone else, even if they don't have a lot of it, right? That's what I have always taught my kids. It's what I will always teach my kids, because I don't want my children to think it's okay to be bullies, ever. I don't want my children to think that it's okay to sit there and watch a bully, right? They can stick up for people, and they can do the correct things when it comes to dealing with that kind of behavior. And I want to get back to the things that we can do as humans, right, to help others, and that it makes a difference, right? It makes a difference in someone's life, even if you don't know it. So probably most of you don't know this, but I do a lot of different random things to try to help other people. I don't usually have the monetary amount to be able to do it myself. And so I always involve other people to try to help out other people and try to get what it is that they need, right? And so I have a collection of a couple different videos. One of the most powerful, I feel like, is only a 3-minute video from a friend of mine who was shot in the face by a guy she was dating. I didn't know the guy. She was dating him for a very short period. Shot her in the face, and the bullet went, I think it was in one side of her face, out, and then into her shoulder. But nonetheless, she had to have her jaw wired shut. And so since she was staying with that guy, all of her belongings were in his house. They went on like a 3-day manhunt for the guy. She survived. She had to have her jaw wired shut. They found him, but all of her things were in his house. Everything she owned was in his house. And since he was now in prison, the cop said, well, we can't just go in there and we can't just take your stuff out, because then he could say it's his stuff, and so on and so forth. And basically she was left with nothing. She was left with nothing, right? That's a huge problem, right? This is someone who just got shot in the face, survived, forever now can't see out of this eye, had her jaw wired shut for however many weeks at that point. And so obviously I could not let that fly, right? I couldn't let her go with nothing. I was willing to sew things if they were too big. And so I reached out to people and I said, listen, here's the deal. This is what happened. She has been left with nothing. I don't care if it's sizes that are too big for her. I'll sew them down if I have to by hand. Thankfully, my grandmother taught me how to sew. We got to do something. We have to help. We got to try to help. And this was years ago, so she's doing amazing now. But nonetheless, this is a traumatic event, right? And so I had her come over, straight from when she got out of the hospital. She went to her adopted mom's house, and then I picked her up and brought her to my house, because besides the clothes that are on her back in this video, you'll see, she doesn't have anything else in this moment. And this is something everyone can do, right? For someone else. It's about having that kindness. And, I videoed it for 2 reasons, with her permission. One was to show people that it is super sad, and it is a trigger warning. I don't know about graphics, not really graphic, other than she's just got her jaw is wired shut and she's got a thing on her shoulder there. But for 2 reasons. One, to show the people who had helped and with her with these things, that she appreciated them and it was going to good use. And 2, it was to show that anybody can do something like this for someone. And this is, as humans, how we should be, right? We shouldn't ever just be like, oh, it happened, someone else will do it. If we leave it up to someone else, then it just doesn't get done, right? If we make sure as a community we pull together for someone else, then sometimes we can do it, right? We can figure it out. So without further ado, it's a trigger warning if you are a domestic violence survivor, because she is a survivor, right? And it's sad, a little bit. It's happy, but it's sad what happened to her, right? And so just know that it's a little emotional, but the point remains, which is anyone can help someone. You can get people together to help someone. You know, you don't have to spend money you don't have. There's always something that you can help with, right? And for her, it meant the world, as it would have to me. Just something simple, you know?
Are you ready to come in the house now?
By the way, I was sick as a dog and had the flu during the time I was doing this in the homeless backpack.
And we're going to surprise Shannon with some stuff right now. I'll get those. Step over it. No. Put it down. Put it down.
She wasn't supposed to be carrying stuff, so I was like, girl,
come into the house.
Don't carry things. I got this.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, she makes me want to cry every time, and this has been a couple of years, so.
God bless you. God bless you. Oh my God. God bless you. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
So
you don't know what this means to me. I got shot in my head 3 weeks ago, and I got left behind with nothing, no clothes, no nothing, no toiletries, no anything. And oh my goodness gracious, I am shocked to see the amount of stuff that is here. God bless everybody. God bless everybody. This amazes me.
Just one more thing. So Stilettos Salon in Holbrook wants to treat you to a spa day when you feel better.
Oh my God.
Free.
God bless you. God bless you. I can't wait to see you guys. Thank you so much for that. Oh my God, I'm gonna drool. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep everybody that has done this for me in my prayers and my thoughts. And I really appreciate it. This is gonna help me recover so much. And thank
It did.
so much, because she is the one that has made this happen for me. She is my best friend, and she's been my best friend for over 10 years, and she's done so much for me. She's been by my side through thick and thin, and God bless her and everybody that has helped me along the way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
This girl actually wanted me to give this to you from her to you.
Oh my goodness.
She thought this would be very...
Oh my goodness.
Can you show it to us so everybody else can see?
God. Oh my God. I'm gonna put it on right now. Oh my God, a cross. I do not have a cross, Shane. Thank you, Ashley,
It makes me emotional
so
still, because it's been a while, but
I am a Christian woman, and this is
it was a cross.
amazing. This
It's a little
means
cross.
the world to me,
Oh, the cat's trying to get out. We gotta shut the door.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me grab this bag.
Oh. I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who helped Shannon and who stopped by my house or I picked up from. You guys are amazing.
More than
You guys are amazing.
More than amazing.
And thank you so much.
More than amazing.
A very close friend of mine, and so it was emotional for me and emotional for her, because she had nothing. There was nothing. She had absolutely nothing but what was on her back. And she just survived this horrific event to have nothing, right? And I'm like, I can't just sit there and do nothing, right? Like, as a human, how do I just sit there and do nothing? I got to do something, right? And I don't have the monetary means to go out and buy, whatever. So I asked for help from other people so that she could get what she needed, And with that second chance in life that she was given, she did amazing things with it. She did amazing things and continues to do amazing things with it. You know, I'm so proud of what she's accomplished since that incident, because that's a pretty traumatic thing to survive, right? And not knowing what's going to happen. Like, she didn't have like family, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very similar situation to mine, where there wasn't, like, you knew there wasn't going to be a family that was just going to jump in and give her what she needed. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't people to just pick it up for her. You know, it's about creating a domino effect, right? I've seen other videos on the internet. People are like, why do people video this stuff? Do they do it just for attention? And it's like, no, the whole point is to show other people what they can do, right? It's to create that domino effect of, see what people can do, and it makes other people inspired to want to do the same thing, right? That's the point. It's an inspiring thing, right? She's doing great. She's doing amazing things, you know, amazing things with her life, with her, you know, second chance at life. And, you know, she had nothing, right? That was just even a clip of the entire video that I had posted, but that clip in itself, just like, she's a church going woman, you know what I mean? Like, she believes in her higher power, and she believes, obviously, that she is here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? That was left here for that second chance for a reason. And I believe the same thing. I've known her for a very, very long time, right? And she has made herself a quite beautiful life now. But that's a burden that you hold, right? That kind of violence. That's something that doesn't just go away in a day or two, right? Like, that's something that you live with forever and ever. And the way that she took that second chance after people helped is something that I think she could probably forever be a speaker on, to help other people, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Right. Like, that's the point, right? Like, now she can show other people, like, how she pulled herself out of that, you know? Ew. And I was happy to be a part of that. I was happy to, you know, help in any way that I could. And even though I didn't have, you know, cash money to spend on it, I knew that where there's a will, there's a fucking way. And she didn't have family that was just going to step in and fix it all, right? That just, there wasn't this, people, like, I think, falsely assume that everyone has family that's going to step in and help out if things get real bad. And that's just not the case. That's not the case for a lot of reasons, you know? Girl, I don't ever want you to break a TV, ever. Never. Next time, just throw the remote, but don't break the TV. I think, you know, anxiety is a big problem for a lot of people. I think everyone's anxiety. I think also the winter doesn't help, that sort of stressy and depressy sort of thing. My point is that everyone can do something. There's always something everyone can do. Do you guys remember during the pandemic when people were bringing, like, things to the ERs for the nurses and the doctors? And, well, I knew some people that worked in the medical records department in the hospitals. And so these people had to be there every day too, just like the nurses, just like the doctors. They had to bring things in between their office upstairs and then down into the ER. They were in just as much of a first, like people who worked in prisons. Everyone had to work, right? During the pandemic, there was no option for people who are in medical or people who work in prisons. Like, there's no like, oh, hey, it's remote work. Like, you have to be there. And so I heard from a couple people that my aunt had worked with that, you know, a lot of the times there was like stuff coming in for the doctors and the nurses, and people seem to forget that, a place like medical records exists. And so I was like, you know what, like we're going to do something for the medical records department, right? Like, they're not forgotten. I don't forget them. I know they exist, right? And I asked my aunt to give me how many guys and how many girls, like how many women, how many men were in the department as a total, like all shifts. How many total were there? And we made them gift bags with the help of the community, and I brought them over to the medical records department, right? Exactly. Blood does not make you family. Heart does, right? You can have a chosen family, which is all of you. Girl, listen, I'm the same way. I probably could have had that reaction too. Good luck to him. He's just going to look like a douche nozzle. Girl, So I guess my point to you guys is everyone can do something, and it takes a village. Nobody can ever do it alone by themselves. There's a reason it takes a village is an actual saying, right? And this is what we came up with for the medical records department at the hospital, and this is the stuff that we brought back.
Guys, we are dropping off at the hospital. As you can see, my backseat is full of crap. There's the calendars.
Back when I had a car.
The cups are down. Ooh, you can't see them because they're down there, but where we go. And thank you, Patty Cole, for making these. They're beautiful. They're gonna love them. We wrote them
Chocolate
a
dip
card,
pretzels.
everybody, and I tried to put you guys' business information on it who didn't have it already in the bag or attached to your stuff. So there's that. And
I gave out all the small business names and
you guys have
cards
seen mostly what's in the bag. Scarves.
for all the people who had small businesses who contributed, so that people would know where to buy more if they wanted to.
Got lip gloss and eyeshadow and mascara, bath bombs. Everybody got a $5 Dunkin' card. We got little chapstick holders that Jess made. Thank you, Jess.
That's why we got the chapstick,
And
obviously.
Little snacks. Oh, I found these today. I actually picked these up this morning. They're reusable straws. Everybody got one of these. And scratch tickets are in there. And those are the women's bags, obviously. The men's bags are a little bit different.
Men's bags were a little different because,
these little koozies.
they're not going to want eyeshadow.
Cards too, but they get these little koozies.
Everyone
here.
gets a koozie.
Hey guys. They get socks, they get lotion, they got earphones and smartwatch bands, men's like wipes, kind of like dude wipes. They also got cups, glasses, mugs.
Everyone got a glass.
2020 Essentials Crew.
They were cute.
Men's body wash, a body soak, deodorant, along with the scratch tickets and Dunkin' card that they all
got cups. Everyone got a cup.
So
everyone got scratch tickets. Everybody got a Dunkin' card.
These off at South Shore Hospital at the medical records department because
I think there was
works here in medical
calendars too, if I'm not mistaken.
Most of
I remember, I think
stuff
it was calendars.
that's getting donated are for nurses and doctors, and me and the kids, we decorated them.
We did.
This one's my aunt's. It says her name on it.
We put their names on it.
We decorated them.
The kids helped me.
Yeah, I made 20 bags.
That's how
5
many?
men, because there was only 2 men, but I made extra. And
I made extra, of course.
There's only 11 women, but we made extra, of course. So Just waiting for my aunt and one of her co-workers to come down to bring them in because I can't go up to medical records with everything crazy going on. But
Yeah, they don't let you go in. Well,
just
at that
wanted to
point, they weren't
show
letting you go
everybody
in.
that today is the day. Hey, Robin. Robin, these amazing. Everybody got one of these
She made
too because
sense.
look at how amazing these are. Robin, you are so awesome. She made the cups and
And
these
the cups.
amazing pens. So I am super happy they're about to get these.
Everybody helped out and did their part.
And my aunt said she's going to take us some pictures so that we can see them, opening some of the stuff we got them. So
We did get pictures. It was
thank you,
very nice. It
Social
was very
Hospital
cute.
Medical Records Department. And this is just kind of mine and the community's
That's the point, Jane.
thank you for being amazing
That's my
heroes
point.
who come to work every single day.
You don't have to have a pandemic to do these types of things.
Keep doing this in all this mess.
Aw, we love you, Carol.
Ay. Thank you.
Oh,
Deborah.
I did backpacks. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I mean,
It's the next
they're a
video.
little unappreciated, a lot of donations come in for the other parts of the hospital, and nobody really thinks about administration, but they're still here, doing their job, making this hospital run, and they unfortunately have to see some of the shitty records of people who have passed on from this, and
Sad.
It's sad and it's stressful, and people left here in the building right now are the ones who really couldn't afford to buy a laptop or had a computer at home, so they couldn't work.
Some of them couldn't work virtually because they didn't
help purchase them. We tried.
The hospital wasn't buying them laptops to go home and do the work.
Appreciated and loved.
Funny, right?
And that we were thinking of them. And I also wanted to help support small businesses, which is why a bunch of small businesses I either bought from or donated. They're donated, and I asked them to include their business information so that if anybody wanted to get more from them for whatever reason, that they could do that. So
we were trying to do like an all-in-one, help everyone.
Here comes my aunt. Okay, well, I will let you guys go because I have to help her, but I love you guys, and bye.
So that was fun. We loaded there was this really cool cart that they brought out. It was like a 2-tiered cart. It kind of looked like almost like a shopping cart, but it had like a top part and then a bottom part. And we loaded everything in there, put the boxes on the bottom of like the cups, because I left the cups in one big box for them to just take one, because, well, they weren't going to fit in the bags. But the kids had fun helping, putting stickers on the bags. Yeah, they helped. I didn't let them fill the bags just because I had like piles going of like one thing, men and then women. But I let them decorate all the bags and put the names on them. So they were littler at the time. My disabled one couldn't, but my other ones were, one was little and one was old enough, but not old enough to know, like, okay, you take one from this pile, one from this. Like, they would have just grabbed a bunch of stuff and just started putting things in there. So I was like, I'm just going to make piles of the women's stuff, the men's stuff, and the stuff everyone gets, right? And then do it by, like, do all the women's bags first and men's bags second. And then, we made extra bags for, in case there was someone they forgot, didn't tell me about, or someone else they wanted to give it to at the hospital, but we made extra Sorry, that was my bad. That was my bad. I accidentally pressed the wrong button here. We did, my friend Lisa, I was sick with the flu. So sick with the flu. When I did the homeless backpacks, and we even made some for kids too, like families, but I was freaking so sick with the flu. And to be fair, if it was not for my friend Lisa, I would have not been able to do it all on my own, because there was a lot to put together. And thank God for her help on these, because if it did not have her help on these, I don't think I would ever finish mine. It would take me 9 years to finish on my own. This is what my living room
half of the homeless bag project that we have got accomplished. We have yet to do the food and put the blankets and everything in the bags yet, but
We thought of everything. Tarps,
we put
blankets,
all the toiletries in
baby
the
wipes,
bags and made other women's, care
hair elastics,
items and
pads,
knee bags,
tampons,
along with all the
combs,
other stuff
things people don't think of,
that is in the men's ones,
Creamer, powdered creamer.
along with the women's one.
We gave them water bottles and gave them drink mixes and coffee.
Tylenol, a first aid kit, and brush, and deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, floss, lotion. And then we're gonna do this, or I'm gonna do this later, right after I'm done bagging up the creamer that I'm bagging up right now, but it's powdered creamer, so it's got to be put in individual bags and marked. And then
Hey,
we'll
Chris!
put the blankets in each one of the bags. And then I'll do the hats and the gloves and the washcloths and the socks,
gloves,
and all that stuff. And then I'll do the kids stuff for the kids' bags after that. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of what we've been doing all freaking day.
If it wasn't for my friend Lisa, I would have never got this done.
Thanks, Lisa.
Ever. See?
All day.
Never without her help.
So, we're almost there, but we have yet to be done. So
and all of them went into backpacks.
So that I can finish getting all this stuff ready to go tomorrow.
My entire living room was just taken up by all of this stuff. But it was great. We got to pass them out. We gave a couple to the church, where people go during the day to stay warm in the wintertime. And so the church was, right near where some of the shelters are that I used to drive past every day. And so the church was like, oh, hey, do you have extras of those? And I was like, absolutely. So we brought some, into the church for them to have, to give away to people, because they deal with a lot of homeless. They feed, I think it was once or twice a day. And on Sundays, they have a big meal. Excuse me. So we brought some of them sort of into, and that was not during the pandemic. So my point is you don't need a pandemic, obviously, to do this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is stuff you can do anytime you want. Anytime you want. You know what I mean? Literally anytime you want. Something I've been doing for years in whatever small way I can. And it's something I teach my children, because if you can't help your own neighbor next door, they don't assume someone else is going to. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's sharing meals or helping carry your elderly, neighbor's groceries, like whatever it is, there's always something someone can do. And you have to think about it. A lot of the times pride gets in the way, where people won't ask for help, but they need it. And everyone assumes, I think wrongly so, that a family exists that's going to step in. Well, there's shelters in Brockton and Quincy. And so I brought some to both, and then the church that was right next to it. And then every day on my way through, because I would pass through to get back to where I lived at the time, I would pass through Brockton and then up the back way through like Whitman. I would stop, because the homeless sort of congregate in that area where I pass through, because the shelter's there and they have to be out during the day, like, outside during the day. They have to be out at like 7 a.m. They don't get back in line until I think 3 or 3:30, whatever it is, for the individual shelters. And so Main Springs, aka Father Bill's, is right there. And so sometimes I would just stop, and they would, be there, like on the road, or, over near the Dunkin' Donuts, and so we got them, I think it was $5 Dunkin' cards, so that Dunkin' Donuts had like a huge sign, like basically they weren't allowed in there if they weren't, buying coffee and donuts. And so that Dunkin' Donuts card allowed them to buy a donut or a coffee and stay warm, even if it was just for a little bit. We got, I think it was like 14 tickets to the Randolph movie theater. and we put them just in random backpacks, and like that was a free ticket. So that would keep them warm, at least for that one day or a couple hours. I love my Brother's Keeper. They're freaking amazing. They service, my God, almost all of Massachusetts, really, except for I think the western part of the state. They do a lot. My Brother's Keeper. They do a lot. But Father Bill's in Main Springs, aka Father Bill's Main Springs, call it whatever you want. We still call it Father Bill's because we've lived here forever. But if you've ever been in that area, you would know like where the homeless congregate, like where they hang out. And so we would just drive by and stop, and I would fill my back seat, daily. And then I would drive by and stop and give whoever, was around one of the backpacks. There's so many over there that I think it was 50 we did backpacks, 50 backpacks, and then there was like I think 10 kids backpacks or something. And I remember there was this lady at a grocery store, and I've been that person who's like counting change and like taking things out, and like I can't, I'm over my limit now. I don't have enough to cover it. Like I got to take those 2 things out. And there was a mom, and she was, got to her limit or whatever, and there was like 2 things left that she had that she couldn't get. And I think I had like $100 in my bank account or something, but I was like, I think the total of like the 2 items was something around like 10 or 15 bucks. And so I bought them and gave them to her. And then I said, hold on. And I ran to the car, and in the kids' backpacks, we had things like coloring books and crayons and things for the kids to do, and snacks. And I gave one to the kid and one to the mom. And it's just like, sometimes you don't even know, but there's an easy way to tell if someone could use a little help. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe me, when I have to do my budget for what I'm, can and can't buy grocery wise, and groceries are through the roof. I'm that person that's like, oh shit, like I can't get this thing that I would like to get, but it's not a necessity, We've done a lot of stuff like that too, that there's, winter blankets, hats, gloves. We also did, socks. We did like wool socks. We put, I think it was 2 pairs of socks in each backpack, because what's one pair going to do? One pair is great, but then what happened? You know what I mean? So, and we gave things that people wouldn't normally think of, like for the women, hair elastics. Who thinks of that? Baby wipes, like if you have to go out to the bathroom outside and like baby wipes, you know what I mean? Like those are things people don't think of to put in these, things. We even put tarps in there just in case they were outside for any reason, at least they would have something. We put hand warmers, foot warmers, and body warmers in those backpacks. As many as we could in each backpack, just because like if that's the one thing that's keeping them warm, you want to give them as many as you can. But I'm sure Mass and Cass, definitely there's a Facebook page, I believe, of people just like us that go out to Mass and Cass and bring blankets and mittens and gloves and hats and all food, all sorts of sandwiches, all sorts of things like that. There's always something everyone can do. We found out through doing the backpacks that certain Dunkin' Donuts are allotted a certain amount of money for organizations or charity work or whatever. And if you're doing something like that, sometimes you can get them to donate, which they did in this case, to these people who were then able to go into that Dunkin' Donuts and have a hot coffee or a donut and be in there at least for a little while to get out of the cold. So, you got to think outside the box these days, but there's far more people needing help than I think anyone realizes at this point. Your neighbor might not have eggs. It's funny you say that, Jane. We had a lady who crocheted beanies for that very thing that I just showed for the homeless backpacks. And that's how we got most of the hats. Was we had a lady who literally crocheted hats, and she made matching scarves. And so everybody got the hats, the gloves, the scarves. And she made kid-sized ones for our kids' bags, which was really nice. And so she does a thing every year where she leaves them outside on like fences and things for people to take who are out there, you know, which is really nice. But you just got to find people that you can collaborate with to do some of these things. You know what I mean? Because there is so many people that need, and you don't even know it. You don't even realize it, you know, because there's this thing called pride. It's hard to ask for help for yourself. For other people, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But for yourself, that's where it becomes hard to ask. And there's far too many people who have pride or fear, and so they don't ask and they just suffer. And I do as much as I can to make sure that, you know, no one has to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a thing that stops people from getting whatever help that they need. Oh, I know. I feel like it's just not said enough. I think everybody just assumes that there's going to be family or friends that are going to step in and help, and that's just not always the case at all. There's a lot of people that don't get that help when they need it because they don't all have family or friends that are just going to step in and help, you know? I just donated 3 of my kids' coats that she doesn't fit into. She had a very large jump in sizes from even like the summer to now. And so I just came across when I was like moving things in and out of the storage unit for seasonal, 3 size 6X coats from last year. Now she's in a 10-12. And one of them was brand spanking freaking new. And so I gave one to my neighbor across the street for her kids. She's got 4 kids. And then I gave the other 2 to the church down the street because they have a lot of families that they service. And that pastor over there, he's such a nice guy. Like, he's the pastor that will put a box of food in his truck and drive it to your house if you don't have a car. Like, that's the kind of work that pastor does. And he's a little old guy, and he's about the sweetest person you could ever meet. And props to that guy because he just does so much for anyone he can. And he's a freaking rock star. He's a rock star, you know? And listen, we had that argument with my daughter this morning, Christy. It's not cold, though. I go, it's 32 degrees out. Yesterday's cold. But I don't think it's cold. I'm like, I don't care if you think it's cold. You're putting your goddamn jacket on. Yep. See, I like that. I like that idea. That's a great idea. See, I wouldn't have thought about that. You know, just a postage stamp and a pen and a piece of paper so that they can just tell someone they're okay, because a lot of the times they just go disappear, right? Because they don't want to disappoint their families, and then their families are worried that they're, missing or whatever. That looks delicious. I'm not gonna lie, that looks delicious, Ash. Absolutely freaking delicious. I mean, there's no vacancies here at Elise's Migrant Hotel. I'm sorry, but there's no vacancies at the moment. It's pizza. It's pizza. It's pizza. It's a pizza box. It says it's pizza from my Migrant Hotel here. Wait, is there a delivery address? I didn't see that. God, I'm blind. I'm blind like a bat. I'm telling you, without my contacts, it's even worse. But with my contacts, let's see, delivered to Migrant Hotel. I love you, dumbass. And the stamp, yes, the stamp. Some people have forever stamps, which I love. I should have grabbed those back when they were a lot cheaper. The migrant for the Migrant Hotel Elise here. That way, I could have given the forever stamps to you. And you could have, you know what I mean? I don't have stamps anymore. I wish I did. Usually when I need a stamp, I have to ask people, like my neighbor, I'm like, do you have a stamp? Like, I don't have any stamps anymore, you know? My grandmother, way back, she used to buy those forever stamps. I guarantee there's probably some in her house, which is now my aunt's house, somewhere tucked away that we don't even know. I'm just thinking about that now, and there probably is, because she used to buy those forever stamps all the time. You know, such a good idea, though. Never thought about that, but that is a great idea. You know, give them an envelope, and a stamp, and a pen, and a piece of paper. You know, I love that. I love that. That's great. Such a great idea. My point of all of this is we can all do something. We can all do something to help one another. We don't have to subscribe to constant hate and angry full-grown men. We can do better than that. We can do things that will help others, you know, and they can keep screaming from the rooftops about how they hate everyone else on planet Earth. But if we bring it back to the basics, which is what can you do to help other people, especially in the wintertime, people are, you know, the heating bills are out of control. The grocery bills are out of control. Believe me, I just turned my heat on, I think it was yesterday, because it was getting cold. And because heat rises, I hadn't had to turn it on yet. So it was still warm in here. But I think it was last night, it was going to be really, really cold. So 2 days ago, I turned the heat on. So now it's nice and roasty toasty. Not that it wasn't already warm, but it was starting to get to that, like, okay, it's starting to get cold. So it's time to turn the heat on thing. I'm not a fan of the winter time. I'm not a fan of cold. I like it warm. Okay. I like cold air when I'm sleeping. I don't know if anybody else is like that, where you like the cold air when you're sleeping, but you don't want to be cold. Does that make sense? I don't want to be cold, but I like the cold air on me when I'm sleeping. See, that would drive me bonkers. That would drive me. My husband's always the one who's like, I'm cold. And I'm like, well, put a sweatshirt on. The heat's on 70, sir. Like, you're always cold. And he is always cold. I'm like, well, it's 70 degrees in here. It's not cold, you know? I'm like, put a sweatshirt on or put a blanket on or whatever, you know? You know what I'm saying? Put it on. We are 49 minutes in, and I haven't even done this yet because, well, layers in the bed, cold face. Yeah, maybe that's what it is, that I like the cold breeze in my face. Maybe that's what it is, that I like just the coolness on my face. Maybe that's it. Because I don't want to be cold, but I don't want to feel hot. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be cool, but not cold, if that makes sense. Cool, but not cold. Do me a favor, y'all. If you hit the like button, I appreciate it. Oh, we have one of those. We also have a heating pad, you know. I do. I sleep better with cool air. Not cold, but cool air. If you could hit the like button, we would appreciate it. We would very much appreciate it. You can share. Microphone here. It's like going wonky on me. You can hit the share button. Oops. Sorry. Just gotta fix it. There's a bunch of different ways that you can help support the channel. The channel only gets support if it comes from you guys. We don't have sponsors. There's no corporate backers. There is no other creators asked us to crawl up so much that we're spitting them out the other side. So we do what they say, kind of like some full-grown men we know. It's just us. It's just us. And so all of our support comes from all of you. So if you would like to help support the channel, we would very much appreciate it. We have one of a bunch of different ways to do so, besides like and share and subscribing. You can do Venmo, PayPal, CashApp, Revolut. We have super stickers, super chats, memberships, and we have a link in the chat. It's pinned to the top, and you can use that for just good old debit and credit. You can remain anonymous. We don't have to read your name, of course, for various reasons. We don't like to read people's government names anyway. And of course, if you catch this on the restream, you can donate when I'm not live anymore, and I'll just read it Sunday. I thought about doing a nighttime stream on a Friday, which is tonight. I thought about that, but I wasn't sure how it would fit into my schedule because it would really have to be like after dinner. Everyone needed a break, and I wanted to bring it back to not what we can do for ourselves, but what we can do for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is so many different things that people are going through. I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, right? And the things that I hear the most are the same things that I think every family struggles with at this point. Money, food, the bills that are going through the roof, like heating bills, they're figuring out how they're going to do their kids, birthday or Christmas or any and all of that, and, I can only point them to what I know exists, but people have to realize, like, you have to qualify for those. And there are a lot of people that don't qualify for help simply because they're what we would call the working force. So because my husband works and because we have income, you don't qualify for a lot of things. Even if you're not making a ton of money, you're in that middle ground where you don't make enough to survive, but you make too much for any sort of help. And so there are so many other people out there dealing with that exact same thing, right? And think about it. It could be your neighbor. Yeah, same. Same. Your neighbor next door might have their refrigerator empty, or their phone might be about to be shut off. That's the reality, Why don't they go to Stoughton? That's the one thing I have to ask myself. Go to the Stoughton Police Department. Yeah, right now. They're not changing anything by standing outside the Canton PD. There's a new chief. No one's going to get fired for you standing out there holding signs. Go to the Stoughton PD. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, and I hate to say it, but it's true, there's no reason for you to be standing outside the Canton Police Station with signs unless you're trying to harass a little old man, simply because the elder Albert lives there. Come on. There's no other reason on planet Earth. They're not doing it to be outside the police department and harass the police department. They're doing it because a elderly man lives right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. Which makes no sense either, because once again, and I had to point this out to someone yesterday, Chris has nothing to do with anything. Why? Like, why harass? Like, what good does that do anyone? You know what I'm saying? Go to Stoughton Police Department. That might make a difference. Go to Stoughton Police Department. As a matter of fact, let me see. There's a, hold on. Massachusetts, here we go. Hold on a second. Postponed. Wait, what's today? The 7th. Okay. We're still trying new dates to be announced. Blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Archive, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Stoughton Police Department really needs a foot in their ass. You know what I mean? Right. But I mean, where are you doing any good standing outside of there? No, not really. Let's see. What do we got here? We got, wait, what's today's date is, wait. Okay, that's, I'm going backwards here. Why is it only showing up until October? We need November. Let's see. Status conference. So weird. There's supposed to be certain hearings, and they're not showing, but I'm just trying to see exactly what the actual hell is going on here with this. There's supposed to be like certain hearings that would pop up that we should be able to watch, that I'm not seeing. It's so strange to me that we can't find it. It's weird. We do know that the Robert Devine had a hearing. I don't know if it was a post-commission hearing. 5 days ago or so, or 2 days ago, for his testimony in the Sandra Birchmore matter, right? And I don't usually it shows up, right? So you can watch it. Because some of these people need to answer some damn questions. You know what I mean? And him, that guy, such a creep. Such a fucking creep. You know what I mean? The post-commission has hearings that they have to decertify certain officers. And what I'm not understanding is, why can't we find that? Because I think Donna McNamara, which was the chief, had one recently. Right? They got some splaining to do, Lucy. Okay, so it says that this one closed to the public. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullhucky. Right? They're supposed to be open to the public, right? I know, but I can't restream someone else's stream like that. There's certain, unless you have permission, really. You can get screwed for that on YouTube. A lot of people like to do it, but then they ultimately get a strike and be screwed over for doing it. So I'm usually smarter than that, and I don't. But it's saying here that the Robert Devine's post hearing related to Sandra Birchmore was closed to the public. This is the beginning of October, though. It said reports about the alleged sexual grooming and manipulation of Sandra Birchmore in the years before her murder appeared before Peace Officer Standards and Training, which is post-commission hearing officer Thursday in a closed-door hearing. Robert Devine's previous pre-hearing conferences in March, June, August, and September were streamed live and recorded for the public. A Post spokesperson said state regulations require hearings to be public except where the presiding officer determines that closure is necessary to protect privacy interests and will not be contrary to the public interest. And that's bullshit because it's of public interest, No, I didn't hear it. Carol. The spokesperson didn't specify why Devine's hearing was closed, but said the subject or their lawyer and or the Division of Standards can request that a hearing or pre-hearing be closed. This guy's deplorable. I'm sorry. What the fuck are we hiding here? You know, and this is part of the problem where I'm like, has Stoughton really cleaned up? You know, if they're not taking other things seriously still, I don't know. You know, I don't really know. Doesn't sound like it. I saw it there, but I wasn't too sure if they, you know, some channels are okay with people restreaming and other people are not, right? And it's all about me. I have the trial channel literally pulled up right here, but again, not everyone allows all that, you know, from their streams. And so, I mean, it's the one from the chief is right here. And then this is the part 6 of Divine. And the thing with Divine is that he's such
All right. Mr.
garbage.
You want to call Mr. Devine?
I do.
I want to hear what his excuse is.
Devine,
What he had.
raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right. May I have a seat?
Yeah, because he's certainly going to do that when he can incriminate himself.
Sir, can you please state your name and spell your name for the record?
Robert Devine, DEVIN,
And, what town do you live in? Today?
Stoughton, Massachusetts.
What do you
This
do
guy
for work?
could have been, should have been fired a long time ago.
For the last 4.5 years.
Do you know when you get sworn in as an attorney?
I did. I was January 11th, 2021.
What did you do that day?
Well, the COVID precautions were still in effect. So my family was gathering around in my dining room. I was sworn in at about 1:00 in the afternoon.
I've seen it. I have it somewhere, but
To
talk about the
post
recent
office where we had to
one
mail
that was
it all.
released
My
or the
paperwork.
old one.
Then my wife and I went and had a few drinks at the Stone Forge restaurant in Easton. We came home, picked up my 2 kids, and we went in town for dinner at
So this is on the trial channel on YouTube. And old one. If you can send it, that would be perfect because it would save me probably an hour of digging to look for it. I have so much saved that sometimes it will take me hours to find something I'm looking for. It's like ridiculous.
one steakhouse that evening,
Spent the whole day with your wife.
the entire day.
Let's start with to ask you about your background. What is your background as far as law enforcement goes?
I joined the United States Coast Guard in 1993. I was 7 years active duty, 3 years in the reserves. I was awarded 2 Coast Guard Achievement Medals. I was awarded 4 letters of commendation. I was put in charge of the Marine Environmental Response Unit for the City of Boston. When I ended up in Stoughton, I happened to be living there at the time. I wanted a more stable home life because I was being moved around every few years. I got hired in 1999. I was appointed to juvenile, I believe, in 2001. I was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 2004, lieutenant in 2006, and I was the second in command of the department in 2008 until 2015.
And what happened in 2015?
In 2015, I had an issue in my marriage. My wife and I weren't doing well. I spent entirely too much time at the police department. I spent entirely too much time in my job and not on my family. I had years of built up trauma that I unfortunately really wasn't aware of. The way I explained it to my therapist was I would have things happen and I would put them in a box and I would put the box on a shelf. And then toward the end of 2013 into 2014, there was a young girl, looked like my daughter, got run over with a box truck and my shelf broke. And I would walk around.
Welcome to my life, bud. My shelf broke a long time ago.
I was stretched tighter than a drum at work because I didn't have much support
Yeah.
here.
I mean, you're not the victim,
My
bro.
marriage crumbled. My wife and I separated.
That's not why.
We
You're a
drafted a
predator.
divorce agreement. That was where I
That's
was
why.
gonna go. I engaged in a relationship with another woman. Probably should have waited until I was divorced.
So let's back up. So you broke up with your wife, you actually drafted a separation agreement,
Yes,
you get filed in any court,
no,
and you physically
He
separated.
gets no pity from me.
From each other,
yes,
and after you moved apart, did you have a relationship with another woman?
I did.
And okay, and after you started a relationship with that woman, what happened?
We dated for 4 to 6 months, maybe. And then my wife started having some issues at her job, and I kind of stepped in a protective capacity. We started talking again. We decided we wanted to reconcile.
Okay, so.
Yeah, she wanted the
so
divorce.
You asked her what? You asked somebody at the department to do something for you?
Yeah, I asked, I asked one of my detectives who specialized in pulls if she could do a pull with my cell phone, because I just wanted to have a complete record of what may have been there. I know we've had some luck with pulling some, deleted messages and things like that. That's what I was trying to do. I was put on administrative leave in 2015. I was completely honest with the investigator, and I ended up being disciplined for abusing my authority and conduct on becoming a police officer, and I lost my rank as deputy chief, and I served a 60-day suspension.
Now, as far as violations, sir, what were the violations for? What did you do for those violations? What actually happened?
Again, it was, conduct on becoming is kind of a nebulous thing. They didn't like that I embarrassed the police department because it became very public. And the abuse of my authority was because I asked my detective to do the pull on my phone.
So you asked somebody in the department to do a pull on the phone for what reason?
Because I wanted to recover a complete record of my own phone.
And you did that without seeking a correct authority within the department? Is that it?
I mean, that's what the report said. I did talk to my boss about it, but it's not in there. So
You didn't file an actual police report that resulted in somebody searching your
I did, no, not for that. I did file an actual police report for a bouquet of flowers with a nasty note that was sent to my home. And that's what started most of this.
This guy should have been fired a long time ago, but the Stoughton PD did not fire him when they should have.
Regularly, not just me, my wife, my son. Unfortunately, every piece of social media we had was broken into. Every email account we had was broken into. My poor wife has to use an alias as a police officer in the city of Quincy because her Quincy police work email was being broken into so often. My son's accounts were being cloned. My accounts were being cloned. My family was getting harassing messages. My brother got a message that was allegedly from me telling my sister-in-law that he was cheating on him. I mean, it wouldn't stop.
Oh, it doesn't stop? You don't say.
Pictures of text messages that allegedly came from me, spoofed by my own phone number that someone else sent me.
Oh, shock.
That I allegedly sent. And on a regular basis for years, my wife would get screenshots of conversations that, someone would say, oh, yeah, hey, Bob's talking to this one. And,
Please.
Sometimes they would have a window where they could, make it plausible. And other times, my wife and I were in Florida, so I kept records of everything meticulously, probably up until 2016, 2017, but then it became clear. I filed complaints with Facebook. I filed complaints with Yahoo. I filed complaints with Comcast. I filed complaints with Twitter. I filed complaints.
Good luck.
Everywhere. And then
He's not a
it just
victim.
became clear it did no good. So, I would keep some stuff.
Oh, he definitely was lying to her and saying that all of it was like just one campaign against him when it clearly was not.
What time frame?
Full of shit.
Oh, this went on from 2015 until 2020, 2021.
So as soon as you
Robert
started to
Devine.
break up with your girlfriend
Mhm.
at that point,
One of the cops involved in the Sandra Birchmore debacle.
were you able to trace or track?
He's definitely full of shit. 100% agree.
There were a couple of different people that the state police said. One was a friend of my ex.
Please. Yeah, they
The
did
others
nothing,
I
right?
wasn't
Like,
quite
okay.
sure of, and a lot they couldn't track down because it was, these accounts text now, things like that. They're easy to find. You can route everything through Canada and they can't track it down. So, changed my phone number 4 times. I had to change my emails 3 times. My son's changed his phone number 5 times. My
Welcome
wife
to my
changed
world,
hers
my
3
bud.
times. It just hadn't stopped.
Oh, no, you
No.
don't say.
What did the department do? What did the state police do for
The same thing they did for everyone else. Not a goddamn fucking thing.
So,
But it's not
what
because
are
there
the
was something wrong. It's because he's a liar.
Mhm.
Why does it keep getting fast forwarded? I'm guessing.
Can the witness finish the question
you? Sorry.
or his answer? I mean.
I'm guessing that the post commission did it for like privacy or whatever.
Yes, sir.
So that would be a violation.
Yes.
At least that's what I'm
And
guessing.
as a police officer, you should have done what?
I should have reported it.
You didn't report.
You should have reported something I didn't. You couldn't
You didn't
report because it
want
wasn't
it.
true. Yeah, makes
I
sense.
didn't want to get in trouble.
So.
Oh, good. Nobody wants to hear
That
the
was
sound
part
machine
of the,
noise.
Internal investigation report from 2015, correct?
That's correct.
Now I want to back up. I started doing your background and I don't think I finished. Do you have any letters of recommendation? Letters of commendation?
I have 4 from the Coast Guard. I have multiple from the police department.
You ever appointed supervisor of the year?
Yeah, I was the supervisor of the year. I was also the police officer of the year as chosen by the VFW in my town.
FBI Deployment Association?
No, I was one of 11 instructors nationwide for the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association.
What does that mean?
I basically teach chiefs how to be chiefs.
Huh. Cool. You teach people how
What
to
was your
fucking be
background in that?
predators? Come on.
Well, frankly, when I got on my police department, it was a mess.
You made it a
A
mess.
lot of issues that had to be corrected. There was a lot of politics, and when I took over my position, I was determined to try to turn things around.
Sound like someone we know,
And,
Shannon?
One of the things we did to do that was get the police department fully certified. I managed to do that, and I managed to,
Yes, big thank you to the trial channel.
in some measure,
Thank you.
turn around.
I threw their link in the chat. It's in the chat.
Obviously I didn't help matters in 2015 myself. I mean, that's on me, but the fact of the matter is that I did a pretty good job up to that point.
No, you
So I
didn't,
want to go
bud.
back to the 2015 internal investigation. You resolved that, right, sir?
I did.
And did
Come
you
on.
admit that you did anything in violation of the rules?
I agreed to the conduct unbecoming and the abuse of authority.
Oh, did you?
You need to bring your mic closer to you. I'm sorry. I missed what you said.
I said I agreed to the conduct unbecoming and the use of, the abuse.
It is terrifying. I hear you.
Bring up of the original documents on page 632.
Here's the thing.
Scroll it down.
I would also argue that this fucking guy right here, this piece of shit, yeah, that guy. I would argue that this guy not only should have been fired a long time ago, but there were a multitude of things that he was involved in that were creepy, that they should have looked into a long time ago. I would argue that he claims that Stoughton PD was a mess and he had to clean it up. Like, I would argue there's still a fucking mess and it still needs to be cleaned up. And I don't think that they did a good job of cleaning it up after this debacle, after the things that happened to Sandra Birchmore. I don't think that they did a great job because as of right now, as of it stands right this moment, the Stoughton PD is still not taking very serious matters seriously, and it's still very politicky, right? If you say me and you go in with the same problem, right? And I just happen to know a Stoughton police officer and you don't. Well, guess whose problem they're going to deal with? They're going to deal with mine, and they're not going to deal with yours, right? And that's a huge fucking problem. Everybody should be taken with the same seriousness that mine would be, right? And if they're ignoring things like death threats with evidence, I mean, that's a little fucking crazy if you ask me. Clearly, they still need to be cleaned up. And nothing about that department is cleaned up, you know? This is a post-commission hearing. So, hello, Nanya. I'm confused. What do you mean? How did this investigation come about? It's not a discipline hearing, or is it? It's a post-commission hearing, so technically it would be for them to decide probably whether to decertify him as an officer altogether. You know, the last one they said was going to be closed to the public, which I find extremely suspicious. There's no reason for it to be closed to the public. Usually that's only for like safety or privacy concerns. All of the other ones with him have been public. The last one should have been too. It's whether they're going to decertify him, like, and put him on the list basically as a decertified cop. But if you're speaking in terms of discipline as in criminal, no, right? But why should they just be fired and decertified? This man absolutely should have seen some serious criminal shit that he hasn't seen yet, right? There was the other shady shit going on with other people besides Sandra that had to do with this guy for quite some time. You know what I mean? Like that's. I'm guessing the judge does, but I would like to see some more criminal charges on him for the other young women that he took advantage of, not just Sandra, you know? And that's the other thing. Why should he be allowed to do that? Why? Fuck that. The man is a creep, in my opinion. All right? He victimized numerous people using his authority or power. If he opened a law firm, do we think he's not going to do the same fucking thing? In some sort of position of power? Why should he be collecting taxpayer dollars in a pension with all the things that happened in the Sandra Birchmore case? That just, in my opinion, the dude's a fucking predator. Predators don't just stop being predators. It's not the way it works. You know, just like abusers don't magically stop abusing, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical. They don't just magically stop doing it. That's not the way it works. No, he's not a cop anymore, but still, an attorney is still a position of power of sorts. You have to have people who are underneath you, right? Paralegals. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that this man will take advantage of anyone he can, especially women. He's a pig, right? People like him deserve to be on an island for the rest of their lives with people just like him. And they can live together on an island away from the rest of fucking society. Because taking advantage of people the way that this guy does and did for a long time and got in no trouble for it. There were, right, Pig Island, plenty of red flags with this dude. Plenty. Okay? Plenty. No way he's getting a certification. No fucking way. If they give this man a certification, we have a very large problem. I mean, not that we already don't have. You know, that'd be great. If I could find an island, I'm telling you, if I became rich, I'd start buying islands. Start buying fucking islands, and one island would be for the shitty people we need to just send there. And the other island would be like a victims retreat where everybody can just like woosah. And we get some yoga going, get some music, maybe some dance classes, you know, some trauma therapy, but like not like the traditional trauma therapy, because I've never been like a traditional type person. Like, I can't have a therapist that's like, well, how do you feel about that, Elise? I can't. Thank God my therapist is not like that, because it's not my thing. Can't do it. right? Hurricane parties. I mean, we are having a Christmas pajama party. Does that count? Does that count? Also, oh my God, I forgot to tell you guys. Las Cinco Muertes. I can't stand it. I forgot to tell you guys. I thought of this great idea. It's a beautiful idea. I do have a cricket, right? My cricket's right here next to me, as a matter of fact, in its case, in its traveling case. And I got the vinyls down here on the shelves. But I had the wood chipper option. Love you. I had this thought in my mind, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, I have a merch store. That's great and all. But I have a cricket too, right? I could totally make custom, one of a kind shirts, koozies, and what do you call those? Like bags, like what do you call those? Like tote bags. They're like tote bags, right? I could make custom koozies, tote bags, and cups. And I think what I'm going to choose to do is for the Christmas and Thanksgiving season, so the holiday seasons, I'm going to make two t-shirts, 2 cups, 2 tote bags, 2 koozies, right? And I'm going to give them, I said give, yes, give them to 2 of you beautiful people. What I haven't figured out yet is exactly how I'm going to be able to do it. So there's this like program that counts how many times you comment, how many times you like, how many times you like, all the things that you can do on a channel. There's like a whole thing that will take everyone's, screen name and put it into the program and show you how many times, each person did what, right? And my idea is to put, each like or each comment gets one entry, right? And then they have, you guys know the wheel, right? There's a wheel that you can put all the names in, times however many times they had an entry, and spin the wheel, and then it'll land on whatever, right? And you can do it where you spin it and the first person that comes off is the winner, or you can do it where you spin it and it takes each person's name off and the last person on the wheel is the winner. You can do it one or either way. But as a sort of Twisted Tragedies giveaway, I think every action, so that's every action, will get you an entry. So if you hit the like button on the video, if you comment in the chat, if you comment on the video, if you do a super chat or a super sticker, or buy a membership, or anything at all, any action, you'll get, if you send a Venmo or a CashApp or a PayPal, those count too. Those will count. Those I will write down because I don't think the program can count those, but I can count those and just enter them. So any action you could do, right? Share, that's an action, right? Any action that you could do. The only thing I can't count is those little emojis on the side. Unfortunately, those, for some reason, there's no way for me to see who does them. They just pop up. But I have my notebook always, and I got my pens. Scorpio got me that I love. I got my floofy ones she got, and I got my regular ones, my little diamond ones here. But every action is going to be an entry. And then I think we'll have to do the drawing. I'm thinking we'll do one. How about we do, you know what? We'll do one on my birthday morning, which is Black Friday, right? Write this down. So we'll do one drawing on Black Friday, which is my birthday. Okay. And then, because I want y'all to get it in time for Christmas, we'll have another one on December 10th. Because then it'll give me, you know what, no, we're going to say December 5th. You know, I don't know why, because I want it out by December 10th, so it gets to you before Christmas. And the shipping around that time can be a freaking pain in the butt. So that's yeah, like any activity you could do. Literally any, whether it's buying a membership, doing a donation, doing a like button, doing a share button, writing a comment, like the action itself, right? Yeah, we're going to do Black Friday, which is my birthday. We'll do the one drawing in the morning then, and then we'll do another one on December 5th. That way it gives me time to make and then send before Christmas. Right? That I bet that would the idea. Oh, that would be cool. You know, nonprofits, I've looked into them, are so hard. They're so hard. Alcatraz. You're right. I think, no, hurricane parties are a thing, though. People actually do like parties for hurricanes. Same thing as like blizzard parties like we do here in the wintertime. I'm telling you, you need one. You need one. Social cannabis business proposal. I love you. I mean, hey, you never know. Nonprofits are so hard, though. There's so much red tape around nonprofits. It's like ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ugh. There's a lot of counties that do that. You probably could. You definitely probably could. You definitely probably could. I'm gonna win. Jane's like, I want it. It's me. I'm gonna win. Me. But I figured it'd be like a fun little thing to do a giveaway. You know what I mean? You know, people say this to me all the time. They're like, I just need a little help. Can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm scatterbrained sometimes too, but at the same time, I can focus to get done what I need to get done. I don't have like ADD or ADHD, but I think, you know, my husband has ADD. Like his attention span is like, you know, DDD unless he's playing sports. Then he's locked in. That's like the one time where he's like locked in. Or if he's watching some movie that he really likes, he's definitely locked in at that point. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. I felt like it was, but also remember that we are having our pajama party. We are having a pajama party on Christmas Eve. Yes, I still mail out Christmas cards. I feel like it is a dying tradition with people. They just send emails now, but I feel like the traditional Christmas card is definitely a thing that just puts a smile on someone's face. So I feel like it's something that I still do because my grandparents did it, and like everybody got, a Christmas card. And my family, I don't know about you guys' family, but we would put them on like a specific wall. Like you put the tape on the back and you put it on that wall for the Christmas time, like somewhere near the Christmas tree, or even just a kitchen. Or I have cork boards now, so technically I could just put them on cork boards, but my family did it old school. They just used this one part of the wall for Christmas time, and they would put, tape on the back and put all the Christmas cards there. It was, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We definitely did that. Yeah, see, exactly. So it wasn't just my family that did that. You know what I mean? I'm excited for the Christmas party. Like it's a PJ party. You know what I mean? It's a PJ party. It's going to be late night. So it would be, I'm guessing, and this is just a guesstimate until I get closer, it would probably be closer to after 9. I can definitely say it's probably going to be after 9. A dinosaur weed safari. Hey, I mean, I know plenty of people that would probably do that. I'm just saying. But that's the other problem. You got to deal with the, greed. But PJ Christmas party, I'm telling you, that's the thing. We're doing that. We're doing that thing. We are doing it. See? They still do hurricane parties just like we do blizzard parties here, That's kind of cool. I figured there's a program that will scan all of my comments and likes and all those things that will tell me how many times one person did. So it's kind of cool because it'll keep track of that, and then I can just keep track of the other donations like pretty easily, or memberships pretty easily. The memberships, it tells me in my thing, and like anything that comes in on YouTube, I have a thing on, and then obviously anything that comes in like PayPal, CashApp, Venmo, or credit or debit, like that all comes across on my phone. So all I have to do is write it down. You know what I mean? I can go back and look at it anytime I want. Animatronic dinosaurs. Yes. 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 But we do have a PJ party. We do. We have a PJ party for Christmas Eve. I don't necessarily know. So my birthday is the day after Thanksgiving. So I don't know what the plan is yet for Thanksgiving. But I know that I'm probably not going to do one on my birthday just because I have a lot going on that day. So if I was going to do something, it would be before, maybe that week, it would be before Thanksgiving, because most people, they're with their families and all that. So we also want to make sure that there's a place that people can go when they don't have family. So I'm trying to think up a way that we could, maybe Thanksgiving morning, while everybody's putting their turkeys in the oven, we could do like an early morning, get ready to have Thanksgiving sort of thing, maybe. Or, that might be the best option for that. Like early morning, everybody, you got to get up, you got to put the turkey in the oven. That's the fun part, right? Is making sure you put the turkey in the oven super early in the morning so it's done. Oh, I'm definitely taking it off, but I was thinking about Thanksgiving itself. Like, I don't want people to be alone, obviously. That's very obvious. That's who I am. So I'm thinking most people by noontime are sitting with their families and having their dinner. But what about an early morning, everyone's trying to put their turkeys in the oven, check-in, like a hour or so, hour and a half sort of stream, Macy's Day Parade. A lot of people do that. Still watch the Macy's Day Parade. A weed roller wink. I think that insurance might not that might not help. You know what I mean? The insurance on that would probably be through the roof. Just saying, high people in roller skates or rollerblades or ice skates probably don't mix. Foolproof plan, right? Imagine. My family also used to watch the Macy's Day Parade. I never did. I wasn't a huge, don't kill me for this, but I wasn't a huge fan of the Macy's Day Parade just because, like, I seen the balloons. I like the balloons, but it goes by so slow that I'm like, all right, I want to see the next one. Like, where's the next damn balloon? Gosh dang it. Like, I want to see it. Yeah, a lot of people are weed ball pits. Listen, how about just regular ball pits? I'm a child. I like ball pits or foam pits. Those sound fun. Yeah, a lot of people love that parade, and I don't knock them for loving it. My family used to love it, but none of those people are alive anymore. And I wasn't a huge fan of the Macy's Day Parade. I also don't have cable. I use streaming services. Cable's too expensive. They want Comcast is still charging like 100, 200. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. All I can think about is that kids movie Up with all the balloons. And it takes the whole old guy and I'm like, that's what's going to happen one day. Someone's just going to be holding on for dear life onto one of those, one of those balloons as it just flies away or something. That's true. There would be germs, but they do clean them. They actually have these machines for ball pits where it sucks up all of the balls. I kid you not. It's like a big tube. And it sucks up all of the balls and it sterilizes and cleans them and then spits them back out. I kid you not. That's a real thing. I always wondered, how are they going to clean all those, right? And that's an actual thing. But I don't know how they clean the foam pits, though. That'd be a little trickier, I feel like. It is a good movie. Up is a good movie. It is. I love a good board game. We like a good murder mystery game in this house. Okay. My kids love murder mystery games. And so we have a couple we haven't done yet because you can only solve them once. You know what I mean? You can only solve them once. So we got a couple that we haven't done yet. There's one that's like a medical murder mystery, and then the other ones are just regular cases. It comes with like a case file and pieces of evidence, phone numbers, like actual interactive things to do on the game. They're fun. They are fun, and I recommend them. There is like a monthly subscription actually, where every month you'll get like a piece of the puzzle. You can buy the whole thing all at once to do these murder mystery games. And I can't wait for them to come out once a month. I'm not that type of person, so I wait until the whole thing is out if I ever get them and just get the whole shebang. And they are, let's see if I have one right here. Yeah, Hunt a Killer. This is one of the ones that we haven't opened yet. Got it on clearance, as a matter of fact, for this one. But Hunt a Killer. This is Dead Below Deck, and this one's medium. Like it's medium, but it comes with all sorts of different things in it to solve this murder mystery. And my kids absolutely love these. And so this one we haven't done yet, still in its package. But they have ones that are like way more intricate. Like, this one, like I said, is medium. They have ones that are hard to solve, go all the way up to hard, and have like a million pieces of evidence that, exist in them. I can't wait to do this one with my kids, though. Even, other people. You have like parties like that where people come over during the holidays or whatever. Some people will want to play. And so, like friends. And so we have that one, the New York City medical mystery one, and a different brand where it actually looks like a case file of one that we haven't done yet. So we have 3 we haven't done yet, but my kids love trying to figure them out. They're fun. They're fun for the whole family. Watch YouTube. Oh God, I can only imagine how McDonald's did it back in the day, in the 80s. Like how are they doing all that? Oh my gosh, the Balloon Boy incident. Actually, has anybody seen the updated documentary on the Balloon Boy? Did anybody see the updated like footage and all of that? That's okay though, Carol, because you have new family, my friend. You have us. So you're not alone. You have us. And you don't live that far from me, Carol. You could come over to my house for the holidays. You are more than welcome. I don't have a car, so I can't pick you up. But if you could get here, you are more than welcome to come join us for the holidays and, solve a murder mystery and have some food and some laughs. And you're more than welcome to come here because nobody is alone anymore. Nobody is alone. Trampoline. Yeah, I get afraid that, like, you ever seen those videos where somebody falls straight through the trampoline because it's been jumped on so many times? I'm always like, yeah, that's going to happen to me. On a cruise ship, Jesus Christ. I don't even know if I can get that. I have Paramount and Peacock and Hulu. And then all the other random ones. One comes with my husband's phone plan. One comes with my Walmart Plus plan. And the other one I pay out of pocket for. I think it's Hulu I pay out of pocket for. Holidays are tough for a lot of us. I get it. But that's why we're doing the Christmas Eve pajama party, right? No, the Balloon Boy, not the bubble guy. The Balloon Boy. You saw it, right, from the families? I feel you. It's not the same without living family. It's just my immediate, husband, kids. All that stuff. So it's hard for a lot of people. When it comes to that, when it comes to the holidays. But I am hoping that we can at least attempt to make the holidays a little bit better for you guys by making our own little fam dam, you know? And so people who would normally be by themselves will no longer be by themselves. You know? I am so serious, it's not even funny. I'm as serious as the phone call I had with you yesterday. You are more than welcome to come to my house. So serious. Nobody should be alone. Especially on the holidays. Believe me, I know how tough they are. I get it. I get it. Right. And that's where he was, right? That's where the kid was. So I know I stopped the post-commission hearing with Shady Divine over here. But since the balloon boy got brought up, oh, that's cool. I like that blue service. That's kind of why I figured, you know what? We'll do a stream. Kids do listen. My nephew, okay, many years back, he's a preteen now, but many years back, we were on vacation in the Cape, okay, and we start calling his name. It was like a condo sort of thing, and we start calling his name, and him and his sister are they're Irish twins, so they're only like 10 months apart. 10 months apart. And so we're looking for him. We're yelling his name. Nobody can find him, right? And I'm like, you guys, everybody's freaking out now. Like, did he walk out the door by himself? Like, he was just here in the living room 2 seconds ago. Like, what is he doing, right? And everybody's freaking out, running all around outside. We're at, it's in a condo, but it's in like a resort in the Cape. And I'm like, he's got to be here somewhere. Well, we looked everywhere. We looked everywhere, right? And I'm like, listen, my husband as a kid, actually, they had one of those big bathtubs, the claw bathtubs, you could fit sort of underneath it. A kid could, at least, an adult can't, but a kid could. And as a kid, he hid under there. And then when I think he like stole a piece of candy he wasn't supposed to have for dinner or something like that, like before dinner. And so he hid under there. He was very little. When they couldn't find him, they like called the cops and everything. They could not find him. He ended up being underneath there. He was hiding because he was afraid he was going to get in trouble. And I'm like, I thought back instantly to that. And I was like, no. He's here somewhere. He's just hiding, thinking he's in trouble. So I start calling his name and I'm like, you're not going to be in trouble, buddy, but you got to come out because people are worried about where you are, right? And so I go over to where the couch is and I see that people have like folded, the couches come out to like open up into beds. And so, the beds are filled and then you have the open couches up. Everybody, there's a whole family there, right? And so I see how it's been folded and then there's pillows next to it. And I'm like, let me just look under these blankets. Like, is he like hiding? And sure as crap, there he is hiding under the blankets just as we're about to call the cops and be like, where is this kid? Just right under the blanket, right behind the couch. And you would have walked past him a million times and not seen because he was literally hiding up against the couch under the blanket, And it's like, oh, for the love of God. Now, the balloon boy, everyone called it a hoax, right? The news called it a hoax. It was a hoax. It was a hoax. They did it to go viral. But recently, the footage actually came out of what happened, okay? And the kid did crawl into like the balloon, and then you see the dad sort of walk away out of the like frame and go into the house. And then the next thing you know, the balloon's being let go, and then their other kid is like, the other kid's in there, and you're like, no, and he's like, yes, he was in there, that's the last place he was in there. And so now that the parents are freaking out, like, where is he? You're saying he's in there, but we thought he came out. And they're like, no, he was in. Like, so now the parents are thinking, well, our other kid is saying he was in there. That's the last place we saw him. Like, is he in there? So they call 911. They end up finding the kid, or the kid ends up coming out from the attic, right? And because he was little and he was being like grilled by cops and them saying like, your parents are lying, they did it on purpose, the kid actually speaks like I think he's an adult now, but he actually speaks in the documentary, and he says, I don't know why I said that as a kid. I think it's because the pressure of them telling me that my parents must be lying. He's like, I think he said something along the lines of, and I think I was mad at them for not letting me do friggin' X, Y, or Z. And I'm like, for the longest time, everyone was told it's a hoax. The parents knew he wasn't in there. But it's very clear from the video that they didn't know that he wasn't in there. They let the balloon go, and then they were fine. And as soon as the other kid's like, oh, he's in there, then they start freaking out, thinking he's in there, you know? At one point, but I believe they dropped them, I think they dropped the charge at one point. Or no. They took a plea deal. That's what it was. They took a plea deal. At one point I think it was the mom and the dad, not just the mom. It was the mom and the dad. They didn't search above the garage. What? Oh, you didn't look above the garage, dude? Like, of all the places on planet Earth, you know? And it was 2009, October 15th, 2009. So it says, post-conviction developments. On January 7th, 2010, Richard Heaney began to claim in media interviews that he only pleaded guilty to prevent his wife's potential deportation, which, to be fair, would make sense. In a 2015 interview with Today, he repealed the claim that the incident was not a hoax. In a 2019 interview with ABC News, they continued to maintain the incident was not a hoax, with Mayumi Heen claiming to have confessed out of fear of deportation. In an interview with the family for 5280, Mayumi brought forth handwritten notes for her attorney, recounting the days preceding the event. In them, she detailed the original plan was to have Falcon hide in the basement. That's what, for the citizenship. Creating genuine confusion, genuine fearfulness. When 5280 confronted Richard about the existence of the notes, he reacted angrily towards Mayumi, during which she admitted to fabricating her story in the handwritten notes to save her family's reputation. So the media attention with the recent documentary, it was July, that's what it was, July 15, 2025. Netflix documentary film about the hoax titled Trainwreck, Balloon Boy, was written and directed by Gillian Patcher, was released July 15th, 2025. So that one re-examines the case 16 years later through the new interviews with the family, journalists, and investigators. The Heens continued to maintain their innocence, arguing the event was misunderstood and not a publicity stunt, while others in the film argue that the Heens did it for viral fame. In August 2025, the documentary received 7 million views. 7 million. Jesus Christ. I watched it by accident, purely. It came on and I was like, interesting. I remember the case of the balloon boy. I mean, the bubble boy thing was separate and apart, but I'm like, why would you, if you think about that though, why would you, for viral purposes, right? Why in the hell would you let the world think your kid is in a freaking helium balloon? And wouldn't the weight, I mean, even as a kid, wouldn't the weight bring it down a little, you know? Like, how could, like, I don't get it. I don't get why anyone would do that, you know? Yeah, Falcon. Just, I'm like, why do people name their, would you remember the celebrity that named their child Apple? And then after that, like, all the celebrities were naming their children like these really off the cuff. I'm like, why don't you just name your kid Windex? You know, why not, right? Fuck it. We're just going to start naming children after items. Why not just name your kid Windex at that point? Just saying. I mean, hey, like, do parents ever think when they give their children these names how they're going to be made fun of at school or by their peers? You know, I get maybe rich parents that are celebrities don't think about it because they probably think, well, my child will be homeschooled or in a school where all the kids have names like that. But, oh, that's what it was. Gwyneth Paltrow named her kid Apple. Yep, named her kid Apple. I am not naming my child Apple or Windex or microphone or any of those weird things. Like, come on, guys. Like, come on. I get it. She's probably the apple of the Blades Oak. That's a name, though. That's a name. Like, I was going to, if my youngest daughter, if she was going to be a boy, she was either going to be Bryce or she was going to be Bryce Thomas, or see, that's a name, though. I mean, I know it's technically also a knife, but at the same time, Blade is a name that's been used for a long time. Like, it's not Apple. Okay. Who the names their kid Apple? I mean, it is an item, but at the same time, it's a name that I've heard many times before. Like it is Northwest. That one got me. Like, no, really? Like, really? Why don't you just name your kid Southwest? You know what I mean? Like Northwest. Like, there's got to be a list of weirdest celebrity kid names. There has to be. Let's see. Well, you know what? I think the weirdest one has to be Elon Musk's kid's name. North Banjo Zillion. Oh, I can't. That's not a thing. Like, that's a thing, you guys. It's a real thing. Sam. Yeah, I know that they named it that other kid Sam. Oh, God. What do we got? Arrow, as in like AERO, Arrow. I can't. You guys. Your maiden name? Like your maiden last name, though? Not your, obviously, maiden would be your last name. But that's a last name, not a first name. There's a difference between it being your last name and your first name. Like, look at this. Okay? This is a list. Crazy celebrity baby names. Bambi, Invicta, Soulless Rain, Tupelo Storm, Techno. Oh, I can't. Oldie. What is happening? Like, there's difference between Cosmo. There's thing between Dream isn't so bad. Like, that's not bad, right? Rumi, I've heard that one before. It's a Japanese. I've heard it many, many times. Zephyr. It's not something I've heard. Yeah, last name. Birdie. I mean, I've heard that as short for things, like Birdie, but not at like that being the name. Shiloh, I've heard that one a million times. I don't really think that one's weird. Sunday, a little weird. Yeah, I like Rain. I'm not. That one's Ignatius. Ignatius. I just feel like that's like an old school name. Dove Cameron. There's plenty of people that have the name Dove. Wednesday. Are people actually naming their kid Wednesday? Huckleberry? I know. It makes me think of Huckleberry Hound or, Huckleberry Finn. Prairie. Bluebell. Okay. What? Braxton's a normal name. So you should switch them. Saga, Blade, Fix, Baker. Wait, hold on. Saga, Blade, Fix, Baker. Oh, boy. That is a long name. Right? Like, give him at least, like, a normal middle and last name, then, if you're going to give him, Surrey. That's not weird to me. I've heard that one before. Pepper. I've actually heard that one before. Honey. I don't know if I've heard that one before. Mars. Mars. I've heard Lars. I don't know about Mars. Bambi. Pixie. I've heard Bambi as short for Barbara. Funny enough. It was an old school shortened version of Barbara. Pixie. I don't think I've heard that as a name before, to be honest. Okay. Domino. Capri. Montauk. Saint. Zeppelin. Bear. George. Bear seems to be one they're using a lot as a middle name nowadays. Don't know why. I like Rain, though. I like that one. I feel like Rain's been used for a long time, though. You know, there are like the normal ones, and then what's wrong with George? Why is this even in here? George isn't a weird name. I mean, it's an old-timey name, but George isn't a weird one. Cricket. Kid Cricket. Heathcliff. Again, that makes me think of the cartoon. Okay. Valor. Halo. Love. Beaumont. Moxie. You got some moxie, kid. That's what it makes me think of. I'm just saying. You got lots of moxie. There's some. You should have named me Rebel. Rogue. Lilybet, because that's what they named the Queen's great grandchild, right? Yeah. Rocket. Buddy. I've heard Buddy before. Rocket, not so sure. You know? Making you feel better? Well, there's a Knight. Imagine if you gave him Blade Knight. Just threw that one in there as his middle name. Like, Blade Knight, you get your behind in the kitchen right now. You know? Oh, both their last names, Derek Fox and Baker. Got it. Solace, Devereaux, Chosen. There's Apple. There it is. There's Apple. Meaning Apple, it says. You know what I'm saying? Liberty. I've heard that one before, though. Draco. Sovereign. Lady. Buzz. Cleopatra. Buzz is the name of my neighbor's dog. Robert Rodriguez gave his kids unusual first names, but normal middle names. His son, Rebel's middle name is Antonio. Yeah, see, that makes more sense to me. Tallulah. Banjo. Every time I hear the word, it's like, ding, 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 ding. Name your kid Banjo. Holiday. I don't feel like that one's too bad. Holiday. Ocean. Okay, now we're getting into like the crazy stuff here. All right, Sparrow. I don't even know what this is. What is this? Has to be a silent P. Ptolemy. Aggressive war, meaning aggressive, warlike. Yeah, Ptolemy. Pronounced Ptolemy. I can't. Ripley. Keats. Blues. I mean, for the love of Sabbath, I've heard that one. Eureka. That makes me think of the puppet show when I was a kid, Eureka's Castle. Milu. Wildflower. Wildflower, I feel like, needs to be a 70s name. Like, yeah, we named you Wildflower, man. You know, we're all peace and love and stuff. They sound like pet names. Kind of. Sundance. Thunder. Halkian. What in the hell? Diesel. I've heard Diesel, but again, that's usually like a dog's name. Lolita. Lolita's a name, though. Marmaduke. Oh my God. Please tell me someone didn't actually name their child Marmaduke. This one, oh my God, you guys, it says, the description of this says, one of the ultimate teasable names. An Irish saint's name now associated with the oversized cosmic strip dog. Scottish adventurer Bear, born Edward Grills, took up the challenge when he used it for his son. Someone named their son Marmaduke. For the love of God. That's not real life. For the love of God. Jupiter. Desi. Bandit. Culture. Win. Just name your name, kid. Win. I'm not even going to tell you guys, but my husband made a funny joke about what we should name my daughter when she was born. He wanted to name her I Always. Because I was joking around. I was like, we can name her something crazy, like Windex. Like celebrity. Oh, why not name her I Always? I always win. You're a dumbass. Zuzu. Right? Some of them are dog names, I feel like. Princess. That's a normal name. I knew a girl named Princess. Stormy. That's not bad. Cashmere. Petal. I mean, why don't we just name our child, Tree Branch at this point? Ode, Tennyson, Doc. What's up, Doc? Imagine somebody named their child Doc Bunny Looney. Doc Bunny Looney. Java, Pilot, Chicago, Aniston, Caruso, Marvel, Antarctica, Bronx, Slim, Shady? This is the middle name Shady, sir. I need to know. Oh, it's Sleem. Sorry, it's not Slim. It's Sleem. It's pronounced Sleem. Can also be short form of the Arabic name Silamine. Okay. All right then. Mosley, Oldie, Tennessee, Zillion, Genghis, Lightning. I mean, are we just picking items nowadays? Is that what we're doing? The names that aren't allowed to be used in America. Oh God, I don't think there's any names that meet my daughter coffee cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the love of God, it's okay to have a unique name for your kid. I think that's pretty cool. But I think when you go some parents go just a little too far. You know what I mean? Just a little. Like, I don't see anything wrong with the names like Gunner or Blade. Like, those make sense, right? Audio. Why are we naming our children Audio? Okay, here's Falcon. 7. Let's just name our kid a number, right? Next, somebody will be like, I'm naming my child $1 million. That's what it, $1 million. 1 million. Easy. I would need to know what the middle name is. I would need to know what the middle name is for that. What would the middle name be for Antarctica? I know, that is bad. That's pretty bad. I'm named a child easy. Breeze. That's not bad. Legendary. Renault. Wisdom with a Z. As in wisdom. Wisdom. Antarctica ice. That's what I thought it would be. There's ice right there, as we were talking about right here. Ice. Ice baby names are currently hot with names like Iceland, Iceland, and Winter trending for girls. Rapper Gucci Mane chose simple, streamlined Ice for his son, born in 2020, appropriately a winter baby. In 2021, it debuted on the charts for both boys and girls and has since predominantly been used for boys, with 13 receiving the name in 2023 and 6 in 2024. Right? Ice would be the appropriate middle name for that. Invicta, which means invincible in Latin. Arizona, Chapel. Is there any kids named Boston out here? I just want Massachusetts. Are we naming kids Massachusetts? I just want to know. Bluesy. Drew. Sultan. Rise. Lupine. Techno. Makani. Eris, I've heard that one. Malibu, Morocco. Morocco's not bad. Pony. Shooter. Lovely. 13. Boomer. That's so mean. Hey, Boomer! Come here, don't you know there, Boomer, yeah? But that's okay, right? I feel like if you mix it together, there are some unique names that are just so pretty. Right? But then you get into this craziness, right? Right? Imagine, come here, Boomer, don't you know there, Boomer? Yeah, come here there, Boomer, yeah. Little Sally down the road there, Boomer, needs your help. Pace, Rumble, Slash, okay, that's not so bad. 2, Epic in a different spelling. Leafer. It's Raphael backwards. I can't. What? Nick Cannon's twin sons. This is the middle name of one of Nick Cannon's twin sons, Zion. Mixolydian. Okay. Lozen, Aquaman. Who named their child Aquaman? I need to know. Controversial YouTuber Trisha Paytas named her son Aquaman Moses. Is that the prescription? Mixolydian. I feel like he didn't want to name the kid with the middle name of Nickelodeon, where he started part of his career, so he went with Mixolydian. Is that a prescription? I don't know, it could be. Bello, Beautiful, Champy, Wrecker, Hemingway, Maisel, Warrior, Sir. Sir? You named your child Sir. Prince, Duke, Bishop, Deacon, Messiah, White, not Sir. At least 80 parents chose it for their babies in 2024 and named their child Sir. Better than heathen. You heathen! Ma'am, right, ma'am? Is that the next one on the list, ma'am? Winner. Alam. Patel. Moroccan. Radix. Rudy. Exa. Maybelline. We know who's named that. Mabel? Honey Maybelline. Kid. KYD Kid. Khalil. Peanut Army. Peanut. I feel like that's what we all call our babies when they're little. Oh, little Peanut. Right? But I don't know about a real, name. Air, Egypt, Fire, Powerful, Bridgemont, Machinist, Iceland, Cinco, Puma, Sweetie, Illusia, Alabama. I feel like a lot of kids have had Alabama as an actual name. I don't think there's anything wrong with that one. Is that the end of the list? Is that it? That's all, folks. I mean, there are some normal, wonderful ones on there, and then there are just some I cannot. Naming your child Massachusetts. Imagine if somebody just named their child, Alabama Barker. I don't think there's anything wrong with that one. But Massachusetts, I would not name a kid after my own state. This is Massachusetts, right? You know how many things kids could make fun of with that? Aha, there's ass in your name. You know what I'm saying? How many? Yeah, know what I mean? I love that, though. That's a nickname. Used to have Babs was a nickname for Barbara, right? Jack was a nickname for John. There's, you know what I mean? There's plenty of nicknames. And nicknames are, don't give yourself nicknames. Other people give you nicknames. But some of the actual names people want to put on the birth certificates of their children at this point, Florida Ann. I feel like they don't think it through. Florida's not bad. I don't know what's wrong with Florida. I feel like putting a normal middle name kind of makes it a little better. Just a little. You know what I mean? Just a smidger. Just a smidger. I am nothing wrong with unique names. I love unique names. I think they're awesome. But I do think there's you're going over the bridge there, Yeah, right? Imagine naming your kid $1 million. That's your kid's name. $1 million. That's over the line. That's way over the line. That's not a normal name. That's not even a unique name. That's just craziness. That's just overboard. You know what I mean? There's unique and pretty and cool and handsome. And then there's way over the effing line. Parents lost some marbles and name their child the Beatles. Your name is the Beatles, or Fork, or Windex. Those are over the goddamn line, parents. You cannot be naming your children things like Windex and Fork, okay? Knock it off. Right? They can just go by the middle name instead if they choose to later on, right? Cannot be doing this to our children, people, all right? Think about your boundaries. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, do these people take mushrooms before they name some of these kids? Were they high when they named some of these? I'm not naming my child the Windex, The. Your first name's the, Your middle name's Windex. Poor kid. Hey guys, it's my new kindergarten class. My name is the Windex. People are like looking at the kid like, you're kidding, right? It's a ha-ha fun. Like, no, that's my name. What's your name? The. Name's The. Yeah, The. Name's The. Nice to meet you, The. What's your middle name? Windex. And the kid's just like, yeah, that's my name. I'm super proud. And the other kids are like, what's wrong with these kids' parents? I've heard that name before, though. Unique, spelled with a Y. I've heard that one. I went to school with a girl named Princess. Like, those are ones I've heard, you know? That's okay. We got this, my friend. See you later. I feel like that's, you know, those are not bad. It's when the parents get into the whole acting a little crazy, you know? Can't give your kid the Windex. Crazy stuff like that. Like, what is, come on, parents. Dude, let's, come on. Let's not do all that to our chillins. You know what I'm saying? All right, what do we got left here? We got a little bit of time. Actually, my daughter went to school with a kid named Mustafa last year. No, yeah, last year. And that was the kid that was in her class. The kid's name was Mustafa. I was like, somebody must have loved Lion King, you know? I feel like, how else would you come up with that name unless you absolutely loved Lion King? You know? Personally, I wouldn't name my child that. But hey, again, I think there's a difference between unique and over the line, parents. Over the goddamn line. Safa? Yeah, Safa, right? Like not sofa, but like Safa. Just like the last part of it, but like take the T out. Yeah, I'm working on that. I've been doing a little bit here and there of figuring out little things we can do. I know some of us are going to have to like rap, so that's going to be part of it. But I have been thinking of little things we could do for our Christmas Eve fiesta. Fiesta, Rikiki. But I have been, yes. So, oh yeah, I mean that's kind of a hard name to say quickly, you know. I kept my kids' names short and sweet, you know, short and sweet. I think they're all six letters or less. Yeah, six. Two of them are 5 letters. One of them is 6 letters. I kept them short and sweet. I'm trying to work in a game of bingo. But the problem is bingo's hard if you don't have people's emails to have them pull their bingo card up. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to find other things. But I found a couple that are feasible for the show. We're 2 hours, 15 minutes in, folks. If you want to do me a favor and hit the like button, because that's now going to help you if you hit the like button. The share button, the comments, all that stuff helps. If you would like to donate to the channel, we could definitely always use the help and support. We're just a teeny tiny channel. And there's a billion different ways that you can help support the channel. We have Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Revolut. We have a link in the description, and it's in the chat at the top, pinned to the top of chat there, that you can click on, and you can donate any amount you want. You can remain anonymous on all of these if you choose to do so. We appreciate y'all. We also have super chats and super stickers and memberships. I think I might, and I'm thinking about this, maybe Thanksgiving night doing a stream, but if I do one on Thanksgiving night, that one will be a members only, because I'm looking at things that I can do for my members only type things. And we're already doing a whole big public Christmas pajama party on Christmas Eve. So if I do like a Thanksgiving night one, that will be like a members only type stream. There's definitely different things I gotta change around here and there. Never have I ever. Oh God. Oh God, that could get messy. That could get messy. You know what I mean? That could get messy. Go Patriots. Whoop. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Carol. That's what I'm saying. That is what I am saying, my friend. Let's see. Hold on. Looking for something that I saw earlier here. Let's see. Remember, y'all gotta wear your PJs. It's a PJ party for Christmas Eve. Let's see. Yeah, see, bingo is a good one, but I mean, I have like a jingle mingle bingo, but that's, you have to split into like teams and give each team a bingo card. Hold on. Right? Any PJs will do, my friend. You bring your favorite drink, whether that's coffee or orange juice or eggnog or champagne or wine, or I know a lot of us have, Christmas Eve wrapping that we have to do. Oh no! Maybe you'll get lucky and someone will gift some, and then we were buffering there for a second. I'm trying to see, because I just saw. I'm going to be all warm in my PJs. I'm going to have my slips on, my PJs. You guys are going to help me fill some stockings. We're going to do some stuff. I do have a couple things I was working on. I would love to do bingo, but bingo is so difficult without having everyone's email, because then, or you split it into teams and then give each team a card, like a bingo card. But then, not everybody knows what's on the bingo card, so it doesn't really help. And the problem with YouTube is they don't let you play friggin' songs, which is really annoying unless you own the rights to the song. Unlike TikTok, where you can use songs in your videos, they don't let us do that. So it's not like we can, play Name That Song or anything like that. It's obnoxious, that's for sure. But I do have a couple things that I have sort of up my sleeve for that night. It's also going to be a long day for everyone, usually on Christmas. And it's, going to be later at night, so it's not going to be like early, So remember that. Remember, it's not going to be like an early Christmas Eve. It's going to be a little later at night. We have a bunch of things I obviously will have to do before then. So to get ready I also got to get a Christmas tree. Does everybody have a Christmas tree yet? I'm holding out hope that I'm able to get my pink Christmas tree that I want, that I used to have, that broke when I was moving. Ugh, they're so obnoxious with that. They do the non-skippable ones now, where you can't skip it. Like, you literally can't skip it. Which is annoying. But nonetheless. Let's see. You know, I take a look sometimes at certain things, and it just makes me shake my head. It just does. It makes me shake my head. It's like, what is it gonna take for people to be like, bring it back to being humane to other people? You know, bring it back to showing people that not everybody has to be a asshole, right? Girl, now I have to get like a menorah, and wait, which night is, like, how many candles have been lit by Christmas Eve for the menorah, or is that after technically Christmas? You have to educate me, my friend. But when, as creators, we have I think, not only an ability, but a responsibility to people to say, all right, there's a lot of nasty shit going on out there. When do we, as creators, say, all right, now is the time that we bring it back to the basics? Now is the time where we say, okay, kindness exists. Kindness is the thing, right? How do we end hateful, awful, terrible human beings that all they do is fuel anger and hate and misplaced rage and misplaced anger from people they don't even know, right? And I think it's a little sad in a way that you have so many people that are that angry or insecure with their own lives that their only way to feel better about themselves is to tear other people down. It's weirdo behavior, in my opinion. And I mean, to me, if you need a full-grown man with 50,000 subscribers going after a woman with 3 that you don't even know, that screams pathetic to me. It screams you're pretty pathetic. You don't have anything else on planet Earth to talk about. You got to do your buddy's dirty work. Like, you're so far up his ass, he could spit you out. I mean, what are we doing here as creators? Right? What are we fucking doing? We have a responsibility to not take your petty bullshit as a grown-ass adult, right, and bring it into people's real lives. And it's like, I could respond to the various attacks against me, but I don't care enough to do that. I don't care. I don't care what they have to say about me. I don't give a fuck. They're going to say whatever they're going to say, and then some. Right? They're gonna. It's that simple. Because unhappy people do that kind of shit. You know what I mean? I mean, that's very apparent to me. That if you want to be a hateful person, you just follow in those footsteps. And I think what these people don't realize is that ends up bad for you in the long run, right? There is a big difference between knowing when someone's hurting other people and doing it because they sort of get off on it like it's some sick, weird pleasure that's not normal by any stretch of the imagination, and knowing when it's time to stop responding to idiots, because what does it really accomplish? I don't need to give them airtime. There's no point. There's no point. Right, we're big boys and girls, right? Like, they're big boys and girls. We're all big boys and girls. And it's pointless to respond to nonsense and bullshit. Why? Why am I going to respond to two full-grown adult men who are throwing big baby tantrums? I mean, if I had a platform that was 180,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers, I promise you that I would be doing other things, right? Right now, I have a multitude of victims that can't even speak because if they do, they are threatened into oblivion by a mob of unhinged lunatics, right? And they depend on me to be able to speak, right? Be able to say, like, this behavior is not okay. And I will keep saying that that behavior isn't okay. But if you're contributing to someone else's hate and insult, someone you've never met, someone you don't know, right? You might want to look within and see why you would be doing that, right? Because in reality, all this misplaced hate and anger is coming from somewhere in people's lives. They might not even realize that what they're doing is not a reflection of the person they're doing it against, but a reflection of themselves on how far they're willing to go and where their integrity is. Is there no boundary you won't cross? Will you just cross those boundaries to be up someone's ass for money, for clicks, for views? Or do you at some point stop and think, hey, maybe I might be wrong here. Maybe someone is doing a lot of damage that I don't know about, or maybe I do know about it and I cheer it on because I'm just as sick as they are. I don't know. But nonetheless, I think it's important to bring it back to so much hate like that exists, especially in the true crime community itself. But why does it exist? Does anybody ask themselves why it exists? It exists because a small subset of people decided it was going to exist. And that is the way that they were going to wield trying to control dollars and clicks and situations, was to use that, right? To use that. Technically, I have my stream set up so that if somebody replays my stuff, they can get an issue with YouTube for it. So if he wants to have his YouTube channel taken down, go for it. You know what I mean? Go for it. It's against the terms of service to use YouTube as a way to just harass someone via spite or insult them via spite. And if YouTube gets enough reports of that, they will shut your entire channel down. Like, they don't care. They'll shut your channel down for less, you know? There's a lot of people that have a lot of serious anger or abandonment issues and are not healed enough to go about everyday life, right? And so instead of trying to figure out a way to heal and help heal other people, they use that hate for bad, because it doesn't matter what attention they get as long as they get attention, right? It's sad. Like, that's sad. Oh no, this is Hotel Elise. What do you mean? This is Migrant Hotel Elise. What are you talking about? Like, he says that, right? So, like, he's been saying that forever. So, like, I mean, it has to be it, right? Because he said it. Like, so it's got to be a thing because he said it, right? I mean, come on, people. I know some of you have brain cells. It's not that hard, you know? You can, right? Isn't that amazing? And this is like, if there are people in my channel who right here in this chat are free Karen Reed, anti-free Karen Reed, you know, they agree on being kind to one another, but they disagree on the case, they're not in there tearing each other apart. They're not in there applauding on someone else's demise or mental health, right? They're not doing that. They're coexisting, having pretty good conversations. And when one of them is out of whack, they help each other, right? That's what a community looks like. That is what it's supposed to look like. But when you harbor all of that hate and anger constantly, that's all you're going to get back. It's like karma. It's what you put out into the universe. If you put out constant hate and anger, That's what's going to come back. I want none of that. None of that, right? I will call out the turtle's behavior when he does shit that he's doing out of spite, as he said himself, just to hurt people. He's not doing it because it's the right thing to do. He's not doing it because he's exposing anyone. He's doing it out of spite. He's doing it because he's got nothing else to talk about. And he's doing it because he's mad. He's mad that Karen won't talk to him anymore, you know? And that's that. But we can bring it back, right? We can bring it back to the basics of what can we do as a community, as a group of people, to make someone else's life a little easier. You know what I mean? At all. What can we do? Because I feel like it's important, especially right now, to understand that every human has a limit of what they can and can't. My dad had his, right? Every person has that real limit. And there are real people right now who feel like they have been pushed to their limit. And that is never okay, right? I want to be the person that pulls someone from that ledge, not someone that pushes them off of it. They can be the people that pushes someone off of it. That's on their conscience, but not fucking mine. Not fucking mine. You know? Thanks, Heisenberg. Appreciate you, my friend. It is, right? There's so many other things going on in the world and in life in general. It's like, for me, it feels more like it's a loss to the people who act that way, right? Like it's a loss to them, because I just got to say a little prayer for them once in a while that maybe they can heal their soul eventually. But clearly right now is not the time, because clearly they're festering in a lot of hate and division and unkindness that they just can't seem to pull themselves out of that dark hole. But that doesn't mean that everybody else needs to be in that dark hole with them. It just doesn't. We can all choose which way we're going to go and how we're going to act, what we're going to say, and how what we say affects other people. Because I don't think anybody thinks of that anymore. You know? I don't think anybody thinks of like what they're doing or what they're saying or how it affects other people. Because again, everybody has their limits, and there are plenty of people right now that are at their limits, and they shouldn't have to feel like that. No one should. No one should. Is it worth it to keep spreading anger and hate for a guy you don't really even know, who would end up throwing you under the bus if he was going to save himself? No, definitely fucking not. But they have to figure that out for themselves. They're going to have to figure it out for themselves. Nobody can figure that out for them. That's on them. And in the meantime, if they want to keep hurting people because it makes them feel good for like 10 seconds, well, that's the bad karma they choose to put in the world. When bad karma comes back around, they can blame nobody but themselves. I, on the other hand, would like to show people that their kindness and their love, just one thing could make someone else's day. Just one kind act can make someone else's day. You don't know what someone else is going through. If you go into the store and there's a lady there and, you know, she's having a hard time and she looks like she's ready to burst at the seams, like, ask her if she needs a hug. I'll never forget the hug I gave this old lady at a Walmart. I was with my friend Tina, and she had gotten one of these like car kits. It was like in a bucket, right? She got this car kit, and one of the worker ladies who worked there was like, how many of those are left? I didn't see those. And my friend's like, I don't know, maybe like 5. And she's like, I hope they're there when I get paid. I'm going to get one, right? And so we go to the checkout line, and there's this elderly lady in front of me, and she's checking out, and you can tell she's just very sad. And she starts telling me about her nephew, who was only in his 30s, who just passed away, and how her husband passed away last year, and she had no, family left, and she was 80. I forget how old, but I think it was 89, I believe. And my friend who is behind me, as I'm talking to this lady, asks the cashier if she can pay for a second bucket, this car thing, and then give it to, if the lady up front can give it to the employee that wanted it. Hold on one second, guys. This was around the holidays, but it was around Christmas time, but not quite Christmas yet. It was like end of November, I would say, somewhere near my birthday, maybe beginning of December. And they were having like a sale. And so two things were happening at the same time. My friend wanted to pay for this bucket for the employee who worked at Walmart and wanted them to give it to her. So she paid for that. In the meantime, I'm talking to this woman who's checking out in front of me. And I could just see the pain in her face. Like she was saying she didn't have any family left, basically. Her nephew was like the only one. He had just passed away. He was in his 30s, and she was really sad. And I just looked at her and I said, "Can I hug you?" And she said, "Yes, please." And that hug was probably one of the most amazing hugs I ever had in my life. That lady was so grateful and so thankful. And funny story is I've never been to that Walmart before. It was a Walmart in Fall River. My friend lived around the corner. We happened to have to go by her house and I think her son's epilepsy medication, to like the new one to bring to school or whatever. And so we stopped at that Walmart. So I had never been to that Walmart before, and I haven't been there since. But that hug to that woman meant the world. Like she was having a really fucking shitty day. And what I didn't realize, and what I said to her afterwards was, I didn't realize how much I needed that hug too. You know what I mean? Like just that one thing, that one 5-minute interaction. Like someone needed another human. And it was very abundantly clear to me that she needed another human. And all it takes is just for you to be that other human, right? It's not that hard. It's really not. I didn't realize how much I needed that hug just as much as she needed that hug, just life, everyday life. And that was probably one of the most powerful hugs I've ever had in my life. She just hugged so tight, like almost as if someone finally realized that like she just needed someone, anyone, and it didn't cost me a fucking penny. It cost me maybe 7 minutes of my time tops. She didn't pickpocket me. My friend actually kindly, while I was hugging her, ended up paying for her couple of items. She had like 4 items. And my friend ended up paying for her 4 items. But I mean, the lady was a trooper. She was a trooper, and she just needed someone. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't even realize how that someone can affect your life or how much you needed that interaction. Even though you were trying to do something good for someone else, that interaction was something that you also needed. And I fully believe that everything like that happens for a reason. Maybe she should visit then. She put an air tag in my pocket. I would love to visit with her. She was a wonderful old woman, and I would have loved to sit and just listen to her stories of her life for hours. I could listen to those for hours. Why? It happens. Not everyone's a shitbag. Not everyone's shitty. You have to pick a pocket or two. I think that's a huge thing in the UK, right? Like pickpocketing. I mean, I know it happens in Boston, but it's not really big much else, like other places in Massachusetts, really. But I had a friend who lived in London for school. And she used to say like pickpocketing was like a thing there. Oh, I definitely strike up random conversations. I'm sometimes some of you will find me in public and tap me on the shoulder. I have a ton of interactions publicly with people. But you got to think about how selfish I feel like humanity has become. And I try to think about if that were my grandmother and she was alive and I wasn't, and she had no one left, you know, or my child, like, you know, I'm gone and there's no one left. And you got, you know, I try to think about it like that, because it's like, then they have no one, you know, there's no one left. There's no one for them to call. There's no one for them to hug. There's no one for them. You know what I mean? And far too many people don't have family like that anymore, you know? Your idea definitely has potential, although don't go with the rollerblade idea. Right? See that? I'm a people person. I happen to like people, even though there's a lot of shitty people in this world. There are also a lot of really awesome people in this world. And you miss out on those people when you're constantly just spewing nonsensical bullshit hate for you know, teeny blogger. You miss out on those important interactions of people from all over the world that you might not have gotten to know because you're too busy paying attention to that and paying attention to the people. And there are people that I will forever be friends with now just from having a channel and making connections and having phone conversations and texting and emailing. And I hold that near and dear to my heart, because not everybody gets that. Not everybody gets that. Not every creator makes those connections either. Some of them choose not to answer any emails or any phone calls or any, you know, messages. I choose to try to answer every single one. I know eventually that will not be possible, but at least at that point, I will know I could try to answer at least however many per day, you know? Ooh, that would be fun. I would totally do that. I would be totally in on that. The Netherlands is on my bucket list of places to visit. Snowpiercer has to be called that. Listen, I don't care what you call it. That is a grand idea. A train. It's like a party bus, but a train, right? Moving party that could be expanded over time. But there has to be a sleeper car, because if you're drinking and the train's moving, there has to be a car where drunken people can pass out. So there's got to be some sort of sleeper car attached to this, Nunya. All right? There has to be. See? That happens sometimes, you know? I get it. You know, I get it. Some people don't get it, but you can also try to inspire as many people as you can, right? Like, by telling people about the things that you've experienced, hopefully it sparks an interest in them to want to do something else nice for someone else, you know? And it doesn't matter who it is, your neighbor, a stranger, it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Apartments that never stop. Imagine that, an apartment that just never stops moving. I don't know if I could deal with that. Some people would have motion sickness. You know? I try to think of it as like a domino effect, right? If I talk about it, maybe it'll inspire other people to want to do it. If I show people that it not only can be done, but that it's something that really makes a difference in this shitty world we live in, then maybe, just maybe, if I inspire one person, it was worth it, you know? And if I didn't, I didn't, but we can at least try, you know, like a domino effect. Why? Feels like a setup. Each one teach one. I remember that. I remember them using that. Each one teach one. I do. You know? Oh, I mean, I've done a lot of that too, where I just don't, you know, nobody knows and I don't say anything. But I also want to try, at least attempt, to inspire other people to want to do something, even if it's something small, you know, especially since now we're getting into the holidays, which is very hard for a lot of people for various reasons. Missing loved ones, no family left, things of that nature. you always want to remind people that there are good people in this world left, and not everyone's shitty. Not everyone's an asshole. That there's always someone you can talk to when you're feeling like it's a shitty day, and everyone knows that my DMs are open. My email is open. You can get in touch with me if you're having one of those days or, need someone to talk to. You're more than welcome to get in contact, and I will happily respond, or that seeing not so nice family members. Thankfully, I don't have any of those left. Thank God. Sometimes compliments make me uncomfortable too. Right? What do you want? Why are you trying to butter me up? What do you want? I only do that when my kids do it. I'm like, all right, what do you want? What are you aiming for, chillins? What is it that you guys want or need from me? I think everybody thinks that of their kids, right? Like, oh, you want to clean your room after I asked you 72 times. What do you want? What do you want? See, those backhanded compliments. Thankfully, once again, all the mean family members have been gone a long time, but I don't know how anybody deals with those sort of like backhanded compliments. I don't even know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do with that. Like, what do we do? What do we do with that? Like, what do you do with that? Like, it's weird. That's freaking weird. That's strange. They know that, but I don't usually do streams on this. This was a change of pace for a reason. This was a change of pace because people needed that change of pace. There's too much ugly out there. Keeping it real, I get what you're saying, but that's not what my channel usually does. You know what I'm saying? This was a change of pace stream for people that are just done with the angriness and the bullshit. I don't blame you, girl. A lot of I've never been hacked on any of those apps. But I totally get you. I totally get you. A lot of people are. I think that's why we also made the link for debit and credit, because it's a secure link. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. I can't fight the world. Wouldn't be worth it anyway. Like that's everyone's piece. But yeah, we made the debit credit link as a secure link. And also PayPal is pretty secure. If you lose anything from PayPal or you get hacked or scammed or anything, they actually give you your money back if you're the person who bought it, which is nice. Oh my God, they hacked my Yahoo mail like 20 years ago. I haven't been able to get it back since, and it was an old Yahoo mail. They took my Neopets, all right? Who had Neopets back in the day? Had it on my Yahoo mail, and they took my Neopets from my Yahoo mail. Oh, that's so great to hear, Lynn. I'm so happy for you. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, my friend? How are you feeling? We got surgeries yesterday and today. How is it feeling? It's pinned to the top of the chat. Do you see it? It's like right at the top of the chat. There's like a link right there, and you just boop, click on it. And it should bring you right to the page where you can enter the information, and you can put like a note, or you don't have to put a note, but if you see it, you should see it. It's like pinned right to the top of the live chat. Great book, Mel Robbins, called Let Them. I'm going to have to read that, I think. I'm going to have to read that. I'm just not so good at detecting trickery, but I laugh at the... I mean, listen, you can't hustler, right? Like, you can't bullshit someone. You just can't. You can't. And people who see through it, and people who don't. And I mean, all you can do is try. I feel like that's all you can do. Again, try to be a better person today than you were yesterday. Sometimes we fail. We're human. We're just human. We're perfectly imperfect. That's human nature, How do they keep getting it? But you're like a techie person, Maestro. Like you can like find them, He never deletes anything. Then what does he do it for? Is it just like because he can? Because he's like, okay, I'm gonna hack into this, and it's like fun, Yeah, it's one of those things, Scorpio, I feel like that you get after dealing with an abuser or a narcissist, where it's just like you can see it from a fucking mile away and you're like, oh, for the love of God. I feel like that's partly it, where you're able to sort of see it quickly at that point, where it's not something that would take like someone who hasn't dealt with it a while to sort of figure it out. When you're giving the benefit of the doubt and all those things, you kind of see it right away and you're like, you know, like I thought this person was better than that. You know, you just kind of see through it. Right? I'm gonna have to read that book. He just posts a crypto vid and logs out. So weird. Why? Like, still kind of out of it? Well, it's good that you're here and you were able to type. It goes to my PayPal, yes. The link itself works for any credit or debit. It's a secure link, but it goes to my PayPal specifically, yes. You don't have to use your PayPal. Anybody can use their own debit or credit, but it goes into my PayPal. Doesn't even change the passwords. I know, right? That's so weird. If you're going to hack into someone's thing, don't you think you would change the password, right? So he just posts like a crypto video and it's just like, I'm out. See you later. I'm outie. Ooh, Casey's got a techie question for you, Maestro. Wants to know why she has random videos in her watch history, stuff that she's not watched in foreign languages. Obviously, somebody has to have hacked into your account and watched those things and put them. That's what I'm guessing. I mean, that would be the only reason. Or somebody got your password, or like, say you forgot to sign out in an Airbnb or something, and the people that own the Airbnb just keep it signed in. Something like that, really, you know? Did a thing about lead influencing human brain development in terms of evolution. Covered over them. Interesting. Well, some people do that though, right? You try to give the benefit and then, you know, I try to remember that I can't hold everybody accountable for what some people have already done or what they do. I try to give everybody their own shot, you know, and well, you know, you're still careful, right? But I think about trying not to condemn everyone for what some people have done, right? And that is something that comes with my PTSD, which is just to automatically assume everybody's a fucking shitty person. And that took years and years of therapy to come over and realize, like, I can't condemn everyone for what some have done, right? Everyone deserves a chance, a shot, you know? But you learn how to be more secure about it, how to keep yourself closed until you can figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm glad, Christy. Maestro said he has it the other way. Things he knows for a fact he watched that vanished from his history. That's so weird. I can't imagine watching it like, poof, just disappeared from my history. That's so strange. That's so strange. Hey, you never know. You never know. All right, guys, it's 2:53, so I'm have to wrap this up. Get my minion off the bus in a minute. But on your way out, my dears, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, share if you can. That would be helpful. If you would like to help support the channel and donate, you can do one of a bunch of different ways. We have Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Revolut, which works for other countries. We have the link for credit or debits pinned to the top and also in the description of the video. We do have an Amazon wish list, but it's privated right now for people fucking with it. So if you need it, you just have to ask me or Scorpio or Jess, and or Action will happily send it to you. I love your stinking faces. Try to do something nice for someone, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. Bye.